Then have your Meijer order delivered to your home or swing by and pick it up when you're out and about. Whatever works best for your schedule. The good life is in reach with Meijer Home Delivery and Pickup.
We are Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. For over 70 years, Feiger Law has been your hometown team of trial lawyers for auto crashes, truck accidents, birth trauma, and injuries due to medical malpractice. Let our team of homegrown trial lawyers win big for you. Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Red Wings. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
From the rink with Daniela Bruce.
Daniela Bruce joined today by Red Wings forward Patrick Kane. Patrick, I know you guys want to turn the page and focus on tonight's game, but when you look back at what happened in Ottawa, what can you take from a game where you put up 50 shots like that, but their goalie plays the way he does?
Yeah, I mean, I think we put up a lot of shots, but we also had, some quality looks as well. We weren't just shooting from the outside. So, you look at the game, I mean, we had one goal, probably could have had, 3 or 4 more. So sometimes that's the way it goes. Obviously, it's on us to keep producing those chances and those shots, but also bear down when we get those opportunities.
Just from your experience, I'm sure you've been in a situation like that before. How do you reassure some of the younger guys in the locker room that, hey, we are doing the right things and it will eventually go our way?
Yeah, and I think last game we did. And I think throughout this this losing streak we've got going, we've had one bad game, one game that we played pretty well, and then kind of been going back and forth. So we've got to put 2 in a row together here and play the same way and trust the process too. Trust the way that we played. You do that, then play the same way, get the same looks. You got a good feeling that you're going to put some more goals on the board.
What's the focus heading into the matchup with Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a lot of focus and talk about playoffs, throughout the last little while, right? And rightfully so. I think we all want to be there and we all want to have a chance to play in playoffs. But I think more just focusing on one game, focusing on tonight, and not thinking about that stuff too much. We still have 18 games left, and sometimes you get ahead of yourself, maybe like we did a little bit, and all of a sudden you're going on a little bit of a skid. So I think focus on the one tonight. We got to make sure we have the one tonight, and then kind of go from there.
Not a ton of changes at the deadline, but Craig Smith does come in along with Peter Mrazek in net. Just what are your early impressions of the 2 new additions?
Yeah, I know Peter from playing in Chicago, and obviously I know Smitty from playing against him in the league for a long time, right? So Smitty's going to give his 100% effort, tough to play against, good engine, a lot of speed, hard shot. And then I think Mrazek, last year in Chicago, he was incredible. He had an incredible year, and I think he can bring that to us too. I think he's a goalie that can potentially steal a game if we need it. And I've seen it before. So I'm sure he's excited to be back in Detroit and in the thick of a playoff race as well, and that gets you excited. So excited to have both those guys.
Awesome. Appreciate your time today, Patrick.
Thanks, Danielle.
This has been Daniela Bruce with Red Wings forward Patrick Kane. Now it's time for tonight's Keys to the Game.
Tonight's Keys to the Game.
Red Wings back at home, Little Caesars Arena in the District Detroit as they take on the Buffalo Sabres for the 4th and final time this season. Along with Paul Woods, Daniela Bruce, I'm Ken Cal. Red Wings played a solid game in Ottawa, Paul, but didn't get the results. They lost 2-1 to the Ottawa Senators.
I think that's an understatement. They were way better than just solid. They were outstanding. The speed and skill of the Red Wings in that game really hurt the Ottawa Senators. They play that same way against the Buffalo Sabres tonight. They'll win this hockey game. 18 games is an eternity in the National Hockey League. Wings are 4 points out of a playoff spot. You can make up 4 points in a single weekend. Wings are far from being done from their playoffs this season. Need this victory tonight, though, against these Buffalo Sabres, who are playing well and coming off not convincing, but a very important 3-2 victory against the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, that was their first win in about 6 or 7 games, but Tage Thompson had 2 goals in that hockey game against the Edmonton Oilers, and when you think back on his performances against the Red Wings, he's been pretty solid for the Sabres.
I think he's quietly tied with Alexander Ovechkin for 5th in goals so far this season, but he's a dangerous guy. Josh Norris, they picked him up, that big deal with Ottawa. He's on the top line with Thompson. Zach Benson's there tonight. J.J. Petricka. who's injured. That's a break for the Red Wings. But all four of these lines for the Ottawa Senators, or for the Buffalo Sabres, are dangerous NHL players. They're actually good goal scorers. Offensively, 7th best goal scorer in the NHL. Their problems is defense and lacking, and team save percentage really bad. They have the 31st worst team save percentage in the NHL. And that's one of the big problems right now for the Buffalo Sabres. Other than that, it's a quality team. But again, they're going to miss the playoffs for the 14th consecutive time.
Well, the Red Wings at the trade deadline picked up Peter Mrazek, Craig Smith. Craig Smith played 10 minutes and change in that last game against the Ottawa Senators. But tonight we'll see Peter Mrazek, the former Red Wing draft choice, as he plays his first game as the Detroit Red Wings after the trade.
Yeah, he's had some good seasons now with Chicago Blackhawks. Peter Mrazek, so he hopefully gets back to his form there. 178 wins, 174 losses in 423 games and a .906 save percentage. A couple of changes for the Red Wings I think really helped the coaching staff. Getting Kasper back in the middle with Kane and DeBrincat, that made that second line much more dangerous. And now you got JT Compher, Craig Smith, and Vladimir Tarasenko. 3 veteran players on that third line. All 3 have won the Stanley Cup. They know how to play the game. JT Compher has really got to get going here. If he gets going and playing the way he can, 5-on-5, he can kill penalties and play in the power play. He can be a really, really good player and propel the Wings further. And Michael Rasmussen, that's the best game I've seen him play since he suffered that concussion, that hit to the head. So that's encouraging as well. The Wings were missing people down the middle. With Kasper at center, with Rasmussen playing better, when Compher comes through, they're very deep, they're very good down the middle. And Larkin and Raymond seemed like they started to get going against the Ottawa Senators. Spent much more time in the offensive zone. That's another good sign for the Wings moving back up in the standings.
All right, Paul, what the Red Wings have to do to come away with a victory?
I just went over it right there again, but again, just be better than the Buffalo Sabres. This is a dangerous team. They're a much better offensive team than people think they are, and they're coming off that impressive win. And again, they want to be the spoiler going down the stretch. The dead last right now in the Eastern Conference. That would not sit well with Lindy Ruff and his team. This will not be an easy game, but I do think the Wings will come out on top.
And the injury report is brought to you by McLaren Healthcare, doing what's best. Jeff Petrie, Andrew Kopp, Carter Mazer out with injuries. Jeff Petrie coming along well. No timetable as to when he will return. Buffalo Sabres 25-32-6 on the season, 56 points, dead last in the Eastern Conference, although you can't take this team lightly because they can come out and they can pump the goals in when they're really hot and going.
And the other thing too, Ken, again, we just got to start to fresh, but the penalty killers have got to do the job. You just can't win games when you're giving up that many power play goals against, and 2 goals by Ottawa in the last game, and both came in the power play. So the penalty killers now have got to find a way in these final 18 games. No more power play goals against. Shut them down. We've got a great power play. All of a sudden, the special teams become a weapon for the Red Wings.
Ottawa Senators, they won a big game yesterday on the road. It was back-to-back wins for them. They beat the Red Wings on Monday night, went to Philadelphia, and destroyed the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, and again, the Philadelphia Flyers are like a little bit slower paced team like the Ottawa Senators, but a big win again, and Travis Green has that team playing well. They're going down the stretch now in the Eastern Conference. And how about the Montreal Canadiens on the road against the Vancouver Canucks? And don't count out the Montreal Canadiens. They've been very good now in the last 6 or 7 games as well, with a 4-2 victory last night in Vancouver against the Brooklyn Canucks.
Well, right now, Paul, there are 4 teams ahead of the Red Wings before Columbus has the final playoff spot with 70 points. We got Montreal, New York, Boston all have 68 points. Red Wings 66, and right behind them, the New York Islanders still hanging in there with 65 points.
I know one thing. We've sent a message to both the Ottawa Senators and the Columbus Blue Jackets, and those 2 teams don't want any more of the Red Wings. We dominated both those teams and didn't pick up a single point amazingly in both those games. If we win 2 of the previous 6 games, we'd be tied for a playoff spot right now in the Eastern Conference.
Lights are dim here at Little Caesars Arena. When we come back, we will have tonight's opening face-off, 4th and final meeting of the season. Coming up, Red Wings and the Buffalo Sabres on the Detroit Red Wings Radio Network.